recording. And then we start welcoming people and sharing what are we doing here, who we are, what is this? So, well, my name is Anna, and I'm the founder of Migrapreneur. I founded Migrapreneur a year ago, but Migrapreneur is not new. Migrapreneur was a program within my first nonprofit organization called Migration Hub. So we've been doing migrant entrepreneurship since 2017. We have helped other migrants building their businesses and running programs in other cities like Milan, Helsinki, Brussels, Barcelona. So we have learned quite a great deal on what is a migrant entrepreneurship. But based on those lessons and based that myself, I'm also a migrant entrepreneur, and I turned into an entrepreneur 6 years ago when I came to Germany, and I built my first organization. And without knowing, I was building a lot of know-how, and I had a lot of great emergency/lessons that shaped the know-how that I have today. And that's why something that I've learned along the years was to surround myself with the right experts and surround myself with the people that I can trust and I can book and I can reach. So it allows me to continue, because at the end of the day, our businesses are beyond the bureaucratic structure, but our work can be highly damaged by the bureaucratic structure. So something that we want to make sure that we want to help you all with is that that you don't have to navigate through these problems, and we want to be there for you to ease your work and be there in case you need somebody. So in a nutshell, Migrapreneur is a place for entrepreneurs to feel supported. It's designed by migrants to bridge the gap among the entrepreneurs overall and bring all the resources and existing opportunities for everybody. What we're offering at the moment is a joint community. So please join the community, join the network, contact us if you are a service provider, if you want to be the one who helps also entrepreneurs, especially migrant entrepreneurs. And for you entrepreneurs, we are here to help you navigate through this bureaucratic structure. So if you ever have an emergency, we call it the 911 bureaucracy, book us and visit us as well if you are in Berlin. Every Wednesday, we try to give hours for people when you have something that you don't understand, a letter that is driving you crazy, and all these things that separates us from our actual businesses. So that's why part of our work and part of letting people know who's our community, it's why we came up with these events called Made by Migrants, because we know that at least in Germany, 1 of every 5 companies is built by a migrant. The projection is that it's going to grow, and most likely it is already 2 out of 5. But the truth is that we don't know who are they. And the importance of highlighting migrant entrepreneurs is not that we want to make a differentiation, is that, like it or not, we as migrant entrepreneurs, we have many more obstacles. And the reason why we want to highlight and we want to celebrate the ones who are moving ahead and having some success is to learn from each other, because the path is not the same. So I really want to make sure that with Made by Migrants, we celebrate and we meet migrant entrepreneurs out there. And that's why today I invited Juan to be the first speaker. And throughout the year, every month, you're going to meet a different migrant entrepreneur through these events. That's why we're recording these. So you're going to find this in other channels as well, so you can actually see what we're doing. And most importantly, Migrapreneur can be the platform that you get to know migrant entrepreneurs like Juan. So I was really interested about Juan, particularly because he's not only from Latin America, where I also come from, and I was really happy to know that, but his company recently won a prize as a newcomer startups. And let's say that prizes for entrepreneurs are a great thing to celebrate. And although it's not the only thing, it's a recognition to the work of a very innovative solution. And that basically called my attention. And that's why one of the studies that came out from Harvard Business Review in 2016 said that people with migrant background are most likely to become successful because of the innovative drive. And so when I came to learn Juan through that prize, that struck me. And that's what I said. This is the kind of migrant entrepreneurship we want to support and we want to showcase. Innovation, meeting a need. And that's all what Motor Skins are doing. And on behalf of Motor Skins, Juan is here as one of the co-founders, and I'm pleased to introduce you to him. But I'm not going to be the one who's going to introduce you and talk about Juan, because we're all here to learn from him and listen to what he's doing. So Juan, I just want to give you the floor. Thank you for being part of the community, for being super active, for joining us, and for believing in this. And I can't wait to see you succeed. And I can't wait to see Motor Skin grow and what you are doing, which I don't want to spoil. I want to make sure that people know that it was built by a migrant, and that required huge support, huge effort. And for that, Juan, you have my personal admiration, and I'm sure many more out there. Juan, thank you. Please go ahead. This is all yours.
Hi, Anna. Hi, everyone. Thank you for that awesome presentation. I think it sounds very, very high standard what you're saying about what we're doing. I'm very happy to share a little bit my story. Can you let me share my screen? I would like to. I have just some slides with pictures to illustrate what is in general my story. So
you are already.
Yeah. So originally, I am from Colombia, from Bogota. Oh, did you see my screen? Yeah. I just, first of all, a disclaimer, please don't take so serious what I'm actually saying here, because it's only my personal experience, and it's each case is different, you know, and the conditions you are looking and watching and living are possibly different completely from me. You watch my screen, yeah, my slides, yeah. Yes. So I am from Colombia, from Bogota. This is the main capital of the city in that country. That is forever much. So it's always raining, and it's a place you go to work. Basically, I am a son of my mother. She's a single mother, and I think this is my brother. Why this is important? It's a fair representation of the household in Latin America or in Colombia, where women have the main strength in taking forward the world and the society. I'm also a rugby player. I do believe in team sports and teamwork to achieve stuff. My story started related with the entrepreneurship, as I studied business and economy, and as well some engineering back in my country. I was having a traditional working in the industry successfully, but I realized that I was in certain moment I was like, this cannot be just the life that I need to have in the future, that I want to have. So I decided to start moving around and I start backpacking in some countries and traveling and continue studying. I did some studies in innovation and technology that brought me at the end to Germany, where I finished in the Humboldt University. And there I was very interested in the idea of collaboration between disciplines and how to integrate different points of view. And as a migrant and as a person that have different interests, was very relevant to explore this. So I think here is where my first, not advice, but the first thing I take care related with being an entrepreneur is for me relevant is never go alone. Any kind of project you start doing, it really can profit from your getting more opinions and more points of view. Difficulties will come because starting anything is difficult, continue something is difficult, and you need these people around you. This is how I met Facundo. We were studying together the same master here back in Argentina and here in Germany. The starting point of the project was actually, we met in Argentina. The starting point was his research project in the university, where his master thesis was the starting point of the project. I think one of the biggest success that I get and I feel very proud of, it is my team and it's the people around that is believing in what we are doing. It is not really at the end about money, it is the passion, the idea behind it, but it's everything related with why are we doing what we're doing. And as Anna was saying before, we came from places like in Colombia, in Latin America, or in Argentina, where scarcity, it is very present. You don't have a strong state that can provide for health, for job, for many things. So you need to figure it out, how to survive, how to push forward. And in that regard, that was an interesting starting point, where Facundo was doing his master thesis and studying how plants move and how the movement of those elements can perform movement. And this was like a great interesting idea that I saw, and it was like, oh, you have a project there that is more than a research, and you can do something like a business about it. We met in a way as well, Jose, that he's a doctor in physical chemistry, completing the team, the technical part. But I will tell you why it's so interesting, this approach that in a way is similar and is very together to idea of doing something with less resources. We were approaching the idea of an exoskeleton for elderly people to stand long periods of time, or stand or walk, or get less tired. The challenge was that almost all the solutions you find out there were very old canes and crutches and walkers, or these super advanced exoskeletons that are not really solving a problem in a cost-efficient and real application. It's something that costs 6,000 euros for everyday use, is something that will not take the world by storm. And something we realized we start realizing that it was important is that with this approach, how nature moves, how nature with very few resources, that's, for example, like seeds, for example, they have metabolically dead structures that can perform movement. They open and close in presence of fluids or humidity. And we took that inspiration to create and simulate elements through fabrics that can perform different kind of actions. And with those actions, we can create wearable devices that can assist people. The interesting thing of this is most of the innovations in this field were these very bulky, robotic, smart electronic robots that were very advanced, but very far from the solution and go to market. And we were very surprised that no one were thinking at the moment in a solution that involved as something as simple as clothes to actually create smart materials. And we are pushing this is our first product. We are developing smart compression garment that assists you by standing, that is completely analog. We don't have batteries or motors. In the traditional point of view, we use the body weight and movement to trigger certain actuators. And with that, you can stand longer period of time. In the long term, we want to create a completely autonomous exoskeleton for medical applications or lines of production for in the car industry or something like this. But we want to push as much as we can the idea of extending our technology that is very simple. It's basically fluidics embedded in fabrics without electronics. And with that, we can create something very complex and very efficient that is very far from the current paradigm. And I think it's, again, the idea of using simple solutions that can create something very complex. Yeah, so currently we are raising our first equity round. We got a lot of success stories through acceleration programs, through stipendiums, and I think this is something interesting that in Germany and in Europe you have that you don't have in the US, for example. You have access to grants and to funds that allows you to explore, to prototype, to interact with the academia and the research in a different way that without the need to go to market as fast as in the US, for example. And as well help you to reach certain capitals that we got our first client right now for a completely different application that is in the automobile industry. We are very proud of it, and yeah, we are raising our first equity round to scale up our company in the future and become the leading force in soft robotics for wearable devices. I love this story to finalize maybe this small, say the things I want to tell you. Is the story of this guy, Humboldt, this Alexander Humboldt von Humboldt, because he was having this very out of his comfort zone in the 18th century, going to Latin America to explore what it was out there. So it was like an adventure. I feel myself a little bit like an entrepreneur is something like this. Is someone who is pushing forward the very forward the comfort zone and bringing your idea, your vision, your team to something that it is interesting, you believe, but it's not necessarily everyone is willing to do that. Just maybe some short things I do always when I have an idea or I prepare something. If I have some projects or something I want to solve, normally I just take notes of my ideas. If it stays in my mind for longer, for a week or something like this, I prepare a pitch, and then if I still keep it in my mind and it has sense in the numbers and everything, I present this idea to someone, and if this person that is relevant for maybe a project, it is interested, I still thinking that is a bad idea. I try to find there is a market, there is a need, there is some problem to solve, not only the technology or something like this. And after that, there is more questions that start rising and things. So for me, it's absolutely important to have this kind of rules when you want to start something and question yourself. First of all, how possible it is, there is a market, and with who you will. Yes, and as you say, Anna, being an immigrant brings another layer of complexity. When you are building a company, a startup, or just a traditional company, being from another place, speaking another language, it's another layer of complexity on that. And just to summarize, today I was in Auslanderbehörde after 3 years to the last time I was there to apply for my permanent visum. It didn't happen. It was very difficult, and I think it's this is the kind of challenges we are facing here in Germany. The good things, as the opportunities, the grants, the connections, and the challenges for a country that is still in process to get ready to have us and to bring this innovation and technology and opportunities to reality. And that's why for me, it's absolutely important to be connected with other entrepreneurs, to other migrants that are working to change the face of this country, to change this reality. Yeah, so just to finalize this last slide, when you put yourself a big goal, this is in Brazil, in Vidigal, one of the favelas, if you put yourself a big goal, you possibly will be able to do it at the end. Yeah, that's all.
Well, I'm going to stop the recording here. We're going to be sharing this across our channels for people to listen once again, and for those who couldn't join, to meet you, Juan, and meet what Motorskins is doing, which is unbelievable. It's amazing. And next time, if you want to join the conversation, This is not going to be recorded. Now this is going to stay within the family, within the community. Every single question that we're going to do to Juan, if you don't want to miss it, join the next event. And we're going to be sharing the links because we already have every month for the whole year, migrant entrepreneur and experts. We're having 2 events every month, one with experts. So the migrant entrepreneurs can meet experts, lawyers, tax advisors, and so on. And at the end of the month, at the beginning of the month, we will have a migrant entrepreneur. So now we're going to go with Juan, but I'm going to stop the recording.